Yo, what up, City of Concord Police?
It's your boy, DJ Rubinka Han, back at it again, formerly known as Victor Kwan, even though my friends call me Kwan.
What?
I don't know. I'm still working out my bit.
I don't know.
How's it going, homegirl?
How's it going? We're in the lovely city of Concord.
Say congrats to us. We recently celebrated 6 years dating. Holla.
We're dating? I thought this was just a casual thing.
That's not what you said last night.
So, we just watched Captain Mar-Vell.
Captain Marvelous?
Captain Mar-Vell.
Okay.
Starring Brie Larson
Yeah, Academy Award winner, Brie Larson.
and Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, this is Willow Pass.
This is Willow Pass.
Yeah.
Oh golly, oh golly, oh golly, they're crossing.
I know, I am a good driver.
You watched at, what is this, Brendan
Concord.
Concord? Decent movie theater.
Yep. We missed the first few
Yeah,
minutes.
so we missed the first few minutes of the movie, and that left me confused for a while. But I kind of assumed that we didn't miss much, and I want to assume that it started off where we started off. And I guess for the first half of this review, we'll keep it spoiler free, and then we'll let you guys know when we get into some spoilers. How's that?
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Let's start, homegirl, with some of the things that you liked about the movie.
What did I like? Well, it's a Marvel movie. It's a piece to the wonderful conglomerate giant entity known as Marvel. So it's just it's good. It's a good movie overall. I was telling Daniel earlier that it felt kind of like whenever I'd binge watch a TV show, and it's kind of like you've been watching for a while, you kind of like lose some sensitivity and interest, and you're just watching to further the plot and the story. Which is kind of how I felt, because I know that it's like this is a piece of the what it all comes down to,
Marvel Cinematic Universe,
which is Endgame.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean it's well done. Everyone was cool. Brie Larson's fine. Samuel L. Jackson is great. It was funny because we just watched him in Glass, and they, they made him look younger, but it was like it's fine, it was fine.
It was fine.
Black don't crack, so it's fine. Samuel L. Jackson's just himself.
Yeah, I liked a lot of the origins, the nods to the past. A lot like how S.H.I.E.L.D. got a hold of we want to keep it spoiler free. Well, it is set in the 90s, so the mid 90s, so the soundtrack was kind of cool. I wish they would have went a little harder on the soundtrack. Yeah, I mean, I think they could have went a little bit more into the soundtrack, but the tone that they were going for kind of didn't lend to it.
Yeah.
They played like waterfalls for a second.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, like, they picked a weird era to put that in, I guess.
I would have liked it. I kind of expected it to be a little bit more 90s, to be honest. I would have liked to see a lot of other 90s stuff that, like, it would have been cool to see, because there's a scene where Brie Larson is Carol Danvers is supposedly playing the arcade Street Fighter cabinet, Street Fighter 2, but like I would have wanted to see a little bit more of that, the 90s is it's the only Marvel Cinematic Universe film that's set in the 90s, so I kind of would have wanted to see them go a little harder on the 90s nostalgia, and but we're still talking about good things. But you see a lot of the origins of some things in the Avengers film, such as the ship that the Avengers use, whatever it's called, the X-Wing. Oh, no, that's X-Men. But you see them actually build it for the first time, and they make it so that it's usable. You know what I'm talking about? So that's cool. And you get to see Samuel Jackson. They make it a kind of a running joke throughout the film, like, how does he lose his eye? He gets into an accident, and then it's like, oh, he's bleeding on his eye. Is that how he lost his eye? No, his eye is still fine. It's just kind of like a running joke how Nick Fury loses his eye. That was kind of cool too. But I mean, did it come off as comedic to you though?
It's cheesy. It was really cheesy.
Really? In what way?
Like, there was a part in the beginning where like she's like fighting people, and like they gotta have those like quirky quips, like you're talking to me, or like something funny to show that, like, oh, like, I'm gonna fight you, but like I'm not gonna take this so seriously because I can fight you. Like, oh my gosh, like humor. I don't know. It was and that was just kind of.
Yeah, you know what? You know what I think? I think that Captain Marvel's personality isn't well defined.
Yeah.
You don't really know if she's like, is she sarcastic? Is she kind of quirky? That Chris Pratt as Star-Lord is quirky. We know that Tony Stark as Iron Man is kind of like a smartass.
Yeah. I mean,
whereas Carol Danvers, what is she exactly? She's
like they were putting a lot. I mean, it's a lot of things to like compact into one movie. Like, we're introducing this whole new character. Yeah. We're setting some groundwork for some pre-story. Right. And they're just like trying to tie a lot of things together. Yeah. So I think that hurt the movie a bit. Just the idea that it's she's not as well defined of a character, so it makes it almost hard to place the film. Is the film trying to be comedic? Is it trying to be like fun, or is it trying to be like this action sci-fi type serious film? And it kind of like falls short of all of that in some ways, even though it's still a solid film that was worth watching, in my opinion. Because I told you a while back, like, it feels like it's been a long time since there's been a Marvel film. Because the last one was Ant-Man, and that was not long after Infinity War, and that was back last summer. Usually there's like... Oh yeah, that's what you were talking about too. Well,
usually there's like 2 or 3.
Like the timing of movies.
And there was 3 last year. There was Black Panther, Infinity War, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp. But usually like the 3rd one is around November or Christmas time or something like that. So that's why it's just, to me, it just feels like
International Women's Day.
Yeah, I know.
So they wanted to cash in on that girl power.
Plus, I do feel like I'm legitimately hyped for Endgame, even though I done been hyped. I don't get hyped. I stay hyped for Endgame. So
it's hot and my arm hurts.
Well, it was cold and your arm hurt. So now it's going to be lukewarm and your arm will still hurt. But I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right.
I mean, yeah, it's good. It's a good movie because it's Marvel, but because it's Marvel, it's not that great. That's my hot take. You heard it here first.
Okay, I mean, so you're saying that like in the in the grand scheme of Marvel films, it wasn't that great.
Nah.
Like, it didn't blow your mind the way the way Black Panther blew your mind.
Nah. Nope.
Did Black Panther blow your mind though?
Yeah.
I'd have to say just the aesthetic of Black Panther was cool. I mean, I support the cast of characters that they had.
This is just complete filler.
They got an Asian chick. You gotta support the Asian chick.
Okay, well we did. We paid full price to watch this movie, so
I paid full price.
Yeah, that's true. Well, there you go. Support your. She gets 1 cent out of your however many that we spent. Do you wanna get into some spoilers? This is
spoiler territory. All right.
Spoiler. So if you want to turn it off now, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Find Daniel on Twitch.
DJ Babinkahan, twitch.tv/DJ Babinkahan.
Yeah.
Check it.
As if I don't put the links in the description of each video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, spoiler territory, homegirl.
Spoiler territory, homegirl. So there's, of course, there's a scene at the end of the credits. There's a scene at the very end of the credits, but it didn't really matter.
It doesn't, because you already know that she's going to. You already. It's almost like it's a scene from Endgame. And is this the one you're talking about? With the Captain America and everything?
Oh no, I was talking about like the very end. The scene at the very, very end of the credits was like unnecessary.
Oh yeah, whatever. We don't even need to talk about that. But the scene with Captain America and they're analyzing the pager and they're all like, why did Nick Fury have this going? Well, he said this for some reason.
Yeah, I know. That's all I was thinking of, because like in the scene where they're in like the room with all the file cabinets and stuff, and like they're waiting and they're like, oh, this is a pager. I'm like, oh, there it is. Like, I don't know. They really milk the because her name is she gets her name from Mar-Vell, which just becomes Marvel.
Yeah.
And then she was known as Carol Avenger Dancer, which becomes the inspiration for calling them the Avengers, because Nick Fury started the Shield.
It was kind of cheesy.
It's very ooh, yeah.
It was very Star Trek, the motion picture. How they were like, oh, your name, all that survived from your previous life was your dog tag.
Okay.
So we're gonna call you Verse.
Yeah, that felt all weird. That felt all rushed.
What?
You know what
What,
felt...
her origin story?
Yeah, well, you know what felt rushed was at the end when she's like, okay, I'm gonna, I actually... this is where my powers came from. And all of a sudden, she knows exactly how to, use all of her powers to, their fullest potential.
Right, she
with,
can fly.
no training whatsoever, because it's that easy,
Yeah, that's one thing that I think was important to tackle, and I don't think they did, is what are Captain Marvel's powers even really? She can do a photon blast out of her arms, and that's all they really explain.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh well, she can fly. Apparently she can breathe in outer space.
No, she put it her suit had a thingy.
No, towards the end when she was going.
I don't know. That was weird. Yeah.
What else can she do? I don't know. Is she indestructible? Does she have super
Yeah,
strength?
and then she just goes in and they just tied it up with one bow and were like, oh, she can just break all these missiles and torpedoes and ships and stuff. Oh, okay. Then why? What was the point of her fighting people individually? I don't know.
Yeah.
What else?
So they go into how S.H.I.E.L.D. got a hold of the Tesseract, which is the teleportation stone, I believe is what it's called. Out of the Infinity Stones. Space Stone, sorry, not teleportation. The Space Stone. And so, that's kind of cool, I guess. And that kind of also explains why her mentor, what's her name? Whatever her name.
Bootleg Sigourney Weaver.
Annette Bening, yeah, bootleg Sigourney Weaver. What the heck? Not really. But why she came to Earth in the first place was because the Tesseract was on Earth. So, I mean, that was kind of cool, although not necessarily needed. It explains the fact that Captain Mar-Vell got her powers because of the Tesseract on Earth. The only thing that made me... Well, one thing I took note of is they never referred to her as Captain Mar-Vell in the entire movie.
Wow.
So why do they? So what? Why would she be called Captain Mar-Vell?
Maybe she's a captain in the military.
Is she?
In her former life.
Like in the U.S. Air Force?
Yeah.
Was she a captain? Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to check that again. Possibly. It's possible. But then again, like they never called Ant-Man in the movies, really. Well, not in the first one. They didn't call Iron Man until the very end. It's not unusual, but at the same time, it's kind of like, how does she get the name Captain Mar-Vell? Which is what I'm confused on.
Well, the Mar-Vell part is the Mar-Vell.
Yeah, but that's not her. That was Annette Bening. So
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. There was... we forgot to talk about post spoilers. Just like the girl powerness of the film.
Yeah.
Like what did you feel empowered as a woman watching this on Women's Day?
I mean,
on International
not
Women's
any
Day?
more empowered than I feel on the regular, which is not that much.
Oh, that's so sad. Well, but there were so many girl power moments and nods to being a powerful woman and how she was held down because she was a girl growing up and even the Air Force, she wasn't even allowed to be a combat pilot because women, because she's a woman.
A woman. Oh, they both got I don't know.
Yeah, there was the last fight scene, which was kind of underwhelming. Sorry.
Yeah,
it wasn't the last fight scene, but the fight scene before the big powered fight scene. They play like "I'm Just a Girl" by No Doubt, which was kind of silly.
The music was just weird. I was like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they're trying to go for like an eclectic, like fun kind of mix, like how they had in like Guardians, I guess. But that didn't really work. Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
There was just a lot of things that I think they could have went a little bit more on, like the 90s nostalgia, maybe a little bit more on the music, a little bit more on the comedy, but they just kind of didn't. They kind of just they went halfway with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, just to push the story itself.
But honestly, at the same time, you have to take into account the fact that they needed an origin story for Captain Mar-Vell. So there's that. Like I said, I'm still hyped for Endgame.
Okay.
With the teaser and having seen this and seeing how she got and it also answers the question why she wouldn't have been affected by Thanos when he used the Infinity Gauntlet, right?
Because she wasn't on Earth?
Well, she was in a different galaxy.
Whoa.
She told Samuel L. Jackson, Nick Fury, I'm going to be looking for another home for whatever those the scrolls, and so yeah, she said the range should be good for at least 2 or 3 galaxies away. So yeah, so technically, since she's not in the same galaxy, then she wouldn't be affected by Thanos's gauntlet. So there's that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm just ready for this all to be over.
Ain't never gonna be over, homegirl.
I know.
They're gonna start the next phase after the end game. It's going to be like, you know, Captain Marvel's gonna be the new main person, and they're gonna build all these other heroes around her.
Man, I'm tired.
Gosh.
I'm tired of superheroes.
No, you're not. I'm not.
Okay, well,
I'm not.
I'm tired.
All right, y'all. Oh, how many?
How many 90s songs do we give it out of 10?
How many contact lenses, colored contact lenses, out of 10?
Man, I'll give it a 7. I was gonna give it an 8, but I'm giving it a 7. Which is low for a Marvel movie.
All right.
I don't know.
All right. I feel like you might have given Ant-Man and the Wasp a 7.
Well,
But I don't know.
I feel like I like that one better because there was more personality to it.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
I'm also going to give it a 7.
Wow.
All right, guys.
Thank you
for
again.
watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Damn it.
Send some cough drops our way for Daniel.
Yeah.
Yay.
Peace, guys.
Yay, woohoo. My gosh, your driving makes me nauseated. Oh my god.